Hello. So, I haven't posted a video in a while. Uh, Mostly because I've just not cared. But for the last, I don't know, year and a half now, I've been basically screwing around with this. This is an old golf cart that I got from my grandma a while back. About a year ago, actually about a year and a half now. But essentially, it was stupid slow. It was extremely slow. And I didn't like it. Like, it was just way too slow for my liking, so I decided that I wanted to make it faster. And one of the ways I could have done that was change the gearing. It was belt driven, so I could have probably changed something with that. But at the same time, this thing weighs a ton, and the little 10 horse engine can only do so much with that. So I opted to do something a little more crazy, which is essentially retrofit this thing so that it will handle or will take a motorcycle engine. So that's what I've done. Now, this wasn't the original engine that I stuck in here. This is a 2008 GSXR 600. So it's got plenty of oomph to go and be able to move this thing. I originally was going to put a 1982 CB750C in it, but the problem with that engine is I bought what I paid for. I actually kind of got screwed over on it because the thing apparently had sat out for a while, and it was essentially just irreparable. But that engine's gone. I've gotten rid of it, and I've since replaced it with this. This one is newer, which means parts are easier to find, and two, more power to go around. It's almost complete. It turns over and everything. Wiring harness is all there. I bought it. The only thing that it needed whenever I bought it was the starter and the clutch to be replaced. Mechanically, I've done that. That's the original clutch that was in there. There was a massive crack that was on the side here. I accidentally broke it off while trying to take it off. But it's replaced, so mechanically, this thing is complete. Electronically, not as much. But it should work. And what I've done so far is I've replaced the rear axle. The original axle is over there. I'll probably show that maybe. I'll show it here in a second. But I replaced the rear axle with a solid axle. It doesn't have a differential because this thing originally had a differential in it, and I'll show you that here in a second. But essentially, it's one solid axle with a sprocket that will be driving this thing, and it should have enough power to do what it needs to do. But yeah, it's gonna rip. It is going to rip. I'm going to kind of show you what I've done in the engine bay, kind of how I have this thing mounted, because it's mounted to the frame now. It's ready, well, almost ready to go. There's a few things I've still got to mount and drill, but it's pretty much ready to go. But essentially, the mounts are a bunch of just weld steel that I bent into shape and mounted to some angle iron. Now, this is only 1/8 inch angle iron, but this one over here is a piece of 1/4 inch, and it's all just bolted together. And I've got some like rubber spacers. You can kind of see them sticking out. This thing right here, got some rubber spacers there. But that's the axle that I replaced it with. It's not the original axle that I actually replaced it with. I've since sold that one because it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't adjustable. And the reason I needed it to be adjustable is because this had been mounted, because you can kind of see the hole right there and right there where it was originally. It was too far towards the driver's side, and I need to be able to get a chair right about here. So that's that. Then from there, I also had to spend a bunch of money on tires and rims because, the The original axle that I bought for this thing was just a piece of crap, and I really wish I didn't waste the money on it, but I did. It's whatever. There's nothing I can do about it now. But the wiring is pretty much complete, and at this point it's ready to turn over, because it does turn over. I'm fairly certain the motor works, because I bought it used, and I made sure that it should have been working. I don't know. But the next thing I'm going to be doing is getting a battery, and getting a battery, ignition, as well as a kill switch. And I'm going to try and wire that up. I'm going to probably have to splice some wires to extend them, because the ignition is going to go probably right about here. I'm not going to try and have it be up there in the dash right there. That's just going to kind of be there. But that's where that's going to go. The exhaust is also another thing. So I made it enough so that the exhaust does actually go on. But it's straight piped. So it's going to be loud as crap. And I might put the catalytic converter back on. I don't know. Probably not. But that's where I'm at so far. When I eventually actually get the parts, because I'm going to be ordering the battery as well as the ignition next week when I get paid, or in about a week or so. So I'll probably make a video installing that and seeing if I can get it to turn over. Then if I can get it to turn over, I'll see if I need a computer. I most likely need a computer in order to actually get this thing to fire once or twice, but maybe, because we're going to try and spray some starter fluid in here once I get it, turning over and stuff. But we'll see. Because I'll put some oil in it, so that it doesn't murder itself. And we'll see if it fires. If it fires, I won't put a computer. Well, I'll need a computer anyways, but yeah. So, guess I'll see you guys then. Actually, hold on a second. I need to show you the axle. So the original axle in this thing is this big, chunky thing right here. I'll turn the light on for you so you can see it. So, this thing had a full differential, was bolted to the frame and everything. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Well, never mind. But essentially, this is a gearbox right there. That's the gearbox. I'll come over here. Get a better look at it. Sorry for the messy garage. But essentially, the belt went through there, turned it in the gearbox, and then drove it to the differential. This thing was the brakes. That was a piece of junk. But yeah, that's what this is at so far. It's got all-terrain tires, it's got all-terrain tires for like a quad or something. So we'll see how well this thing does. I have great confidence in it, but I'm gonna make a series of videos probably for the ignition, the brakes, the fuel system, because that's going to be a whole escapade, and then eventually it'll be a driving test, and then the final product. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'll make an update when I have the parts I need to do the ignition. So signing off.